I have been raw vegan for 22 months now, and it has changed my life. So in this video, I'm simply going to share with you the key lessons that I've learned in 22 months of raw veganism. Let's get into it. Welcome guys to my channel. My name is Akuj and we're here on the Raw Food Glow, where I share with you how to glow and thrive on your raw vegan journey and live the life you know you deserve. Raw veganism has personally changed my life, and there's no way that I'll go back to cooked food or just normal veganism. Raw veganism might not be the way for you. You might be interested purely for the vibes and coming to watch my videos, or you might be interested in being high raw, partially raw, occasionally raw. It doesn't matter what you do as long as it's in alignment with the health that you seek and the health that you desire. If you want to, if you're looking to transition, you are most welcome here. So first lesson is fasting is essential. Now I have been intermittent fasting since the summer, so it's probably about 3, 4, perhaps even 5 months of intermittent fasting now, and I really love it. I started doing 12 till 6 as my eating window, and now it's changed a lot. It's probably 10 till 3, sometimes it's 12 till 4, but it's less than the 6-hour window that I started with, just because I find that I don't need the extra time to eat. I can eat more in a shorter period of time and feel very good. I can still thrive. It's interesting when it comes to fasting, because we've been taught from a very young age that we need 3 meals per day. We need breakfast, we need to eat like a king, we need lunch, and we need dinner. And I don't actually know where that logic is coming from or where it originates. If you know about that, leave a comment, let me know, where does the 3 meal a day logic come from? I'm really big on healing, because I believe that once you heal, you do step into abundance and you do step into alignment. And so when we give our bodies the time to digest, we allow ourselves to heal. We have to process all the nutrients that we've consumed, and we also have to get rid of the toxins that are in the body. And this is all done through digestion, through the kidneys, through the liver. And it's not possible to do so when we overload it, when we put too much strain, too much pressure on our digestive system. So what I noticed is that when I immediately went raw vegan at the beginning of 2024. So January the 1st, 2024, I was a raw vegan. And what I noticed more or less in the first week is that rather than having 3 meals a day, my body only wanted 2. I had a large bowl of something for breakfast, and then I had a large bowl of salad or something similar for my evening meal. And that was it. It was automatic, and I hadn't really actually clocked it until right now, where I'm thinking about, oh well, I only had 2 meals a day rather than the 3. And so that was a really natural transition. I didn't think about it, I didn't question it, it just happened. And I think ultimately my body was preparing me for longer fasting periods, as I am doing today. And over the last couple of months, I've noticed some real subtle changes that are perceptible enough for me to pick up on. You may not notice anything in me or reflected in me, but I really do feel them. And this confirms my alignment as someone who fasts. So my memory has significantly improved, and my recall. You guys know I've mentioned this several times, but I learned several languages. I am French, I speak, and I still maintain it. English, of course, I read lots of books and maintain my English, even though I'm a native speaker. Yoruba, Sudanese Arabic, Turkish, which I do quite intensively, and then now I've picked up Modern Standard Arabic and Syrian Arabic. And so these challenges, I mean, they're hobbies of mine, and I'll do them for the rest of my life, but they require strong memory, strong recall, and that is something that's really changed in the last couple of months of fasting. Before I was more of an early bird, and now that I've regulated a really beautiful sleep pattern, I find that I have less focus in the morning and more focus later in the evening. So again, I'm able to recall and use my memory into the evening up until like 10 p.m. I don't mind doing like flashcards and things like that. And in the morning, I find I'm more geared towards meditation and wellness practices like exercise, like looking after my body, like stretching, like yoga. And so that has been a nice shift. Because my stomach is empty in the morning, I can do exercise and still feel great. or waking up in the morning, I also have a flatter stomach. I'm very happy to have a flat stomach. I love having abs. I love when my abs start popping. It's a good feeling. It gives me a lot of confidence. So why not? So with the discipline of intermittent fasting or fasting in general, there comes reward, and the reward is you get to feel better, you feel lighter, digestion is quicker, you're healing your body, and you feel good about yourself because of the discipline, because you're honoring your body and putting your needs first. So the second lesson I've learned in 22 months of raw veganism is that the goal in life is to become a conscious creator. So I truly now have accepted that we are spiritual beings, and what we're doing in this lifestyle, or at least what I'm trying to do in this lifestyle, is remember that I am a conscious creator. Recall that, remember that, and honor that priority, that purpose. And the universe loves speed. The supreme power, the powers that be, love is speed. So the moment we are in alignment with our desire, the moment we are in vibrational alignment with the thing that we desire, is when it shows up. And if it hasn't shown up, it just means that there's a little bit more work to do on the inside to be able to hold that vibration and let it permeate all areas of your life. And raw veganism has been the foundation of me remembering that I'm a conscious creator, because it opens my mind to mental clarity. I receive so many downloads. Every single day I receive downloads, but that has really shifted since becoming raw vegan. I am in direct alignment. Phone line between me and the universe is always very clear, always very open, because I'm not polluting my body, nor am I polluting my mind with things that do not serve me. Every time you choose to go for a raw meal, whether it's fruits or vegetables in any formation, nuts or seeds, you get to receive life force energy, and that impacts your understanding on your relationship with the divine. Life is one spiritual journey, and there's a constant evolution and growth with it. And so looking back on the last 22 months of my raw vegan journey, I've had so many moments of awakening. For example, when I did my first juice fast last December, it was for 31 days, and I was called to do a lot of inner healing around masculinity, father wounds, abandonment wounds, all of this stuff that I didn't know was actually my shadow. So raw veganism brought that wounding, brought that trauma into the light so that I can heal and let go and forgive and release. It was after my fruit fast in the summer that I was called to do intermittent fasting, for example. And it was towards the end of my first year as a raw vegan that I was called to write my first ebook, The Raw Food Glow: How to Thrive on the Raw Vegan Lifestyle. And that has been a real big challenge, but a surprise, because I stepped into new shoes that I didn't know I would ever have to wear. And so it's exciting to understand the human potential through my raw vegan journey. What it really is the mental clarity and the rise in consciousness that comes with eating living, abundant, life force giving fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. Third lesson for me is that high fruit is a must. I have fallen in love with fruits, and I get to fall in love with fruits every single day. And I noticed that because I'm in love with what I eat, I feel so much joy. There's a lot of love simply because of what I'm eating, because what I'm eating is nourishing my body. And so if I wanted to raise my vibration and be in tune with love, I simply just pick up a fruit. I simply drink a smoothie or have a juice. These are all things that fill me with so much love and so much gratitude. So when I think about my favorite fruits, watermelons, custard apples, papayas, melons, bananas, dates. Wow. And when I think about all the raw vegan restaurants around the world that are waiting for me, for my arrival, when I think about all the chefs and the raw vegans that I get to connect with in the world, who are just lining up, waiting for that moment where we connect and meet, I'm just like, I feel like such a little girl. And so in these moments, I'm really reminded that the love of God is here. God is here to nourish us all and allow us to feel joy, allow us to feel good. And for me, it starts with raw veganism. I'm sorry to admit it, but I'm not sorry. I see raw fruit especially as as life-giving and life-affirming as breast milk is to a newborn. It is our main source of fuel. It is our main source of nutrients and minerals, and for water, for fiber. It's just amazing. Fruit is just amazing. And you know what? Fruit doesn't even need any seasoning. Isn't that the magical part? Isn't that the magical part? You never have to season fruit. And no matter what you mix, whether it's strawberries and bananas, or bananas and dates, or mangoes and melons, you're always going to get a nice, exciting, delicious combination that stimulates the taste buds even more than if you had that one single fruit on its own. So you see harmony amongst the fruits. You see life. You see, oh, energy. I want fruit now. Yeah, just fruits are so flavorsome, and I know that there are so many fruits out there in the world, in the tropics, that are just waiting for me, humbly waiting for my arrival so that I can enjoy. That's what fruits are. They're life-giving, they're serving you, they're of a giving nature. So we get to enjoy all our fruits, guys. We get to enjoy. For the fourth lesson is that all answers reside in nature. In my own life, I always look to nature for guidance. I see nature as God, and nature carries wisdom, and there's always a solution that can be found in nature. Personally, anyways. For example, the beautiful fact that all plants bend towards the light. So of course, all plants need light for photosynthesis, to make energy, to make fuel, and to continue to grow. So what's really beautiful about nature is that there's a growth hormone called auxin. Let's pretend that the sun is coming from this side. And so you have the plant that's growing upwards. However, because the sunlight is on this side, auxin, the growth hormone that plants make, will move to this side. Therefore, this will grow, allowing this side to bend towards the light. So everything bends towards the light. We humans are fueled by light, by the sun. Everything in life is fueled by the sun. And if we take the metaphor of everything bending towards the light, we too must follow our light. When we follow our light, we feel lightness, we feel joy, we feel nourished. And so there's a guidance system within us that's allowing us, that's showing us how to allow our light into the world. And for me, I know myself. When I'm following my light, for example, when I'm making YouTube videos, when I'm making reels, when I'm making content, when I'm acting, when I'm dancing, when I'm doing dance, or when I'm eating fruits, I know I'm in alignment because I feel the joy, I feel the light, I feel the lightness as well. So you too must follow your light. You too must bend towards the light. Something that I also notice from nature is the stillness, the patience. There is a season for everything, and nature always respects the seasons. I guess nature is part of the seasons, but there's always an adherence towards the rules of every single season. So there's a time for sowing, and there's a time for reaping. There's a time for planting, and there's a time for harvesting. And in terms of my own cycle as well, as a woman, I have my menstrual cycle. And so there's a season to that as well. There's a time to be active, and there's also a time to rest. There is the spring, there's the summer, there's autumn, and then there's also a winter. In life, in our own reproductive system, in our own menstrual cycle, there is seasons that we must adhere to and respect, and we can look to nature for that guidance always. Before my healing journey, I was really into being productive and also showcasing that I love productivity and growth and things like that. But in the last 22 months of raw veganism, I've learned that rest and recover are just as important as the growing phase. And so that's something that I really value in myself. That's something that I really appreciate that's something that I really appreciate within the fact that I've come to understand the importance of rest and recovery. And so how does that take place in my life? Well, it's simply by going within. Listening to my bodily signals, listening to the calls, listening to the downloads, the intuitions, and asking myself, what do I need? And so the fifth lesson that I've learned is raw veganism can heal my body. I made a video almost a year ago about PCOS and my symptoms and my experiences with that. I'll put that up right here if you want to watch that, and I'll link it below as well in the description. But I had PCOS since I was 13. I was about 13 years old when I had my first period. So I was in year 8 in the UK. And my period has always been inconsistent since. And when I first went raw vegan, and when I say inconsistent, I mean very inconsistent. I probably had no more than 3 periods in 1 year. And the longest gap between 2 periods was about 9 months. And the average gap was around 5 months. So it's very, very, very rare, my period. And I really believe that it was part to do with the wounding that I experienced as a child, the fear of motherhood, the pressures of motherhood, the pressures of being both a mum and somebody's life partner or somebody's wife. So I think these were energies that were trapped in my lower chakra areas, and it was energy that wasn't serving me anymore. So with the healing that comes with raw veganism, the reset, the reprogramming, the change in perspective. So I had my period in the first month of my raw vegan journey on the 2nd week. So I guess 7 days after, exactly 7 days in fact, after I started my raw vegan journey, I had my period. And then my body went on a healing break. And so I was on a break for 20 months. And this is the longest I've not had my period. I wasn't really too apprehensive about it because I'd gone like up to 9 months with no period. And what was needed was for me to trust my body. I'm not one to go to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor in probably 8, 9 years. And even then, every single decade, I probably don't go to the doctor more than twice, more than 3 times. And so going to the doctor was never an option for me, because the advice that I got when I was 14 was to take the pill in order to treat my PCOS, and that's not treatment. You know, it manages the shedding, the symptoms of lack of shedding, but it doesn't treat the illness. So I always categorically refused to see a doctor about that. So in the 20 months, I really had to trust my body, trust that my body knew what it was doing, trust the cycle that it was in, or the stage of the cycle that it was in, and really honor it with what it needed by continuing to adhere to my raw vegan journey and just not worry about what was happening, but trust what was happening on the inside, in the unseen. And so after 20 months of raw veganism, I finally had a period. It was very, very heavy. It was about 7 days of period, and I was in pain for about the first day and a half. Lower back pain and some cramping. But what I decided to do for the first time ever was to really rest, really sleep it off. I slept a lot in those first 2 days, and it was a beautiful experience. And as a side note, that is the kind of life I want to create for myself as a lesson number 2 conscious creator. I want to offer myself, to give myself those few days of rest where I don't have to do anything. I'm not obligated to do anything but turn within and nourish my body from the inside out. Anyways, so I had my period for 7 days and it was beautiful. I felt so alive and so happy to be back, you know, back into balance, back into a nice equilibrium. So that was a nice feeling. And then I had to trust that my body was continuing to heal and doing the work on the inside to allow me to get back into a normal cycle. And then about 7 weeks later, I had my next period, which I finished about a week and a bit ago. And again, it felt amazing. I felt wholesome. I felt healthy. I felt like I was coming back home. So I'm excited for the next period, whenever that's going to be. I'm excited to surrender to the bleeding, to my energy as a female, to the joy that comes with knowing that my body can procreate and produce, and that I'm healthy. So yes, raw veganism has been healing my PCOS and my irregular periods as well. The most obvious point when it comes to raw vegan healing is that my skin has completely changed and I have a glow that I'm really, really happy about, that I really enjoy and that I really celebrate as well. Most people nowadays, when they are, well, most people nowadays, if they were to compliment me, it would always be my skin. And I'm grateful for that, because when I was younger, I did have issues with my relationship with my complexion. And I talk about this as well in my ebook. So be sure to check that out if you like to understand the struggles that I had with my own complexion and how I managed to overcome that many, many years later. So again, that is reward. Good skin that I'm happy with, skin that I'm confident in, is the reward of my adherence to a raw vegan lifestyle. And I know a lot of you guys have mentioned already that as you continue to eat on your raw journey, whether it's high raw or fully raw, you've noticed the brightness of your skin, the glow of your skin has really changed. And you get compliments all the time about how good your skin looks and how great you feel in your own skin. So that is amazing. So if you guys are looking to go deeper on your raw vegan journey and want more guidance, I am open for one-to-one coaching where I get to uplift you, help guide you on your journey so that you can thrive and really glow on your journey. So if you want one-to-one coaching with me, check the links in the description box. So my final thoughts for this video are that life is a process. Raw veganism is a journey, and nothing happens overnight, and it's not meant to happen overnight. We're supposed to ride that wave and enjoy the journey as much as we can. The lighter the load, the less stress we're experiencing, the more joy we can experience in the present moment. So my advice is always never be hard on yourself. Give yourself that compassion, give yourself the self-love, and tap yourself on the shoulder at the end of the day. Give yourself a warm hug, make yourself a warm tea or a lovely smoothie, whatever you need to nourish and honor yourself, and also celebrate yourself, because your life is important. You're here for a reason and you're really trying. Maybe no one has told you all week, but you are seen and you truly are loved. So never forget that. Thank you guys always for watching this video. I am content. I am happy that you are here, and I am wishing you nothing but the best on your raw vegan journey. Let me know what else you want to see from me in the coming weeks. I've got some exciting things that I would love to share with you in the near future. So also hold tight for that. Until the next video, guys, stay fine, stay fierce, and stay joyfully fruitful. Ciao.